Perfect, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Maslowski. I'm the chair of the Harwich Historic District and Historical Commission. We're calling to order our meeting of Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. The meeting is being held here at Town Hall, 732 Main Street in Harwich Center. We will start with a roll call.
Bob Doan.
Brendan Lowney.
And Paul Doan.
So we have a quorum of 4, so that means tonight votes would need a unanimous vote from us in order to pass. I would first just ask if there's anyone in the audience intending to audio or video record the meeting that you notify us at this time. Okay, hearing none. We will open the first public hearing. It is HH 2025-18. Angelo Kyriakides, owner, has filed a notice of intent. The project proposes a partial demolition of a non-historic addition to build a new addition. The structure is over 100 years old, according to the town assessing records, and is located at 78 Bank Street, map 14, parcel W8. Good evening. You want to come forward, Angelo?
Good evening. Thank you. Nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you as well.
I hope you had a great brief summer as it winds down to fall. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming in.
I previously came before the board and I got approval to do the siding, windows, and roofing, and that's all been approved. But in the interim, I was also designing the addition, and I should have probably protracted it and come at one time. Instead, I have to come a second time to show you the addition now. And in the addition, we're raising the existing house, and we're putting a foundation and a brick skin on the foundation itself.
Okay.
And everything is going to be exactly like it was before because we got the approvals for the siding and the roofing, siding, and the windows previously. So the thing in question now is how does my addition, and we labored over this for months. As an architect, I get crazy about this. I get real anal about how am I going to historically correctly meet this house and not overburden it with an addition. The house originally had a series of porches, which are being torn down. That are not historically significant to the house. They were built after 1914, 1911, because when I did the roofing over, the carpenters who did the framing of the dormers, because that's when the dormers were put on, they're not original to the house, they dated the framing. So I know they were done in 1914. So we put new roofing on probably about 15, 18 years ago, the wood shingles that are there. And we're going to redo those as well this time as part of the program. But the back dormer, where the addition is, the old porches are being torn down. There's a series of 4 porches that were added at various times, probably between the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Each owner enclosed the existing porch and added another porch. And then the next owner enclosed that porch, making a larger porch, and they added another porch. And that happened 4 times. So I want to tear all of those down. They have no historical significance at all. They are bastardized pieces of construction. It is really like living in a bat cave. So doing that, I'm going to add a porch back on because the original house had a small porch on that side, which is the cover to the back entrance of the house, which was on that side of the house, which is the north side. I built a model of the house so you can see how the scale all works. This is the house, right here. This is the original, the historical house. There's the 2 dormers that were added in 1914. It was really just a half cape. The porch, there was originally a porch on this back side here, right, which has been taken off, built over, and there's been a series of porches. If you look at the site plan that it has, you'll see all those additions are being torn down. Those are the porches, right? This is being left as it is. The addition, this is the addition here. This is the driveway side, and it's going to marry like this. This is where the original porch was, and I'm going to make the connection by the porch because I don't want to interfere with the dormers that are part of the house or interfere with the architecture of the house. So this is the same slope roof, mimicking dormers. It's not overly scaled to it. It's not overburdened to the existing house. It's not higher than the existing house. So I'm pretty comfortable with it as a scaled component, featuring the historical component here. So
The street side is.
This is the street side here.
That's
I'm showing it to you here.
Yeah.
So it originally had a porch, so we're putting the porch back.
So Kathy, your house would be here.
Your house is here, Kathy.
Your house is
No,
here.
my house is right here.
No.
Where's your front
No,
of the house?
front
You're right here,
front
Kathy.
door is here.
Right.
Your house is
I'm just
here.
looking at this, can I just do this, because, so this is the front of your house now, and it
This-
faces.
This is what you see here, Kathy.
This side.
Yep.
Okay, so that's that, and then, so this is going on the opposite side.
No. It's going with this.
No, I see what she's saying. She's saying is this is the front.
Kathy, I'd appreciate it if you'd wait, okay, because we need to ask our questions, and
That's what
once
she's-
we get
Yeah,
oriented.
but you address
No,
me like.
but once we get oriented, I can call you up,
Yeah.
okay? Until then, it's
I
their
just can't
presentation.
hear- I can't hear anything over there. so-
Okay,
So this is the street side here. This is the north side.
Bank Street is.
Right.
Bank
this-
Street is right here.
This is the driveway.
Main
This is Bank Street.
The house used to be on Main Street.
Right.
Was.
It faces Main Street because Bank Street wasn't there
right.
when the house was put there. And Kathy's house is here, which wasn't there when the house was built. So she'll be facing the original face of the house.
Right.
And this is the addition. She will see the side of the addition
Okay.
that she will see.
I see it now.
So this is the dormer in question that I need to rebuild this dormer because when they bastardized this, they cut this down, they made it a half-deck dormer, and they created a valley in here to make the connection. So they could put a bathroom out here on the addition. So this dormer has all been bastardized over the years so that they could put a bathroom on the second floor.
Well, now it's two dormers, right?
It's two dormers now.
Right, I mean, it's split, it's not that large.
No, it's this, but it has a valley in here to create the roof over the bathroom. And the windows are this way. I think there's a photograph of it in my application.
Bad shape, right?
It is in bad shape.
Right.
It is in very bad shape.
Shows on the photo.
Right. You can see the valley
Yeah.
in the back there. That's not original to the house. That was, again, I don't know when it was put on, when they did the bathroom, when they added a bathroom to the second floor, and they added one of the porches, that's what they did to make the connection.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It originally had a full dormer like this, and I want to put that back.
And they drove that ridge right into the.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the front door actually faces the house next door.
Right.
Right,
As it always has.
right. No, I see that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to orient myself.
Yeah, it's not gonna
in
be-
my head.
Yeah, the front door
Nothing's
faces south.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's being raised a total of 18 inches. So it'll have an 18-inch brick. I'm not sure I'm gonna go with veneer. Veneer is very expensive. I'm adding a brick shelf, and I'm gonna do solid block, solid brick
Okay.
in there.
What do you mean?
So,
The skin, brick skin, you mean a brick veneer?
No, I'm gonna do a brick shelf in the concrete, in the foundation. I'm gonna put solid brick units, not a veneer.
Right.
And why not the veneer?
One costs $27,000, one costs $14,000. Veneer is very
the
expensive,
veneer is more than the.
very
than
expensive,
Than the real brick,
huge.
believe it
I
or
was
not.
shocked.
Isn't that interesting?
I was shocked.
Do we want to start with any questions, Bob?
Sure, on the brick, is that gonna be on the new addition too?
No, it's not gonna be.
So what's the foundation connection?
Basically,
on the new addition?
that's a co-planing with the surface. What I've done is I've made an addition because this house is not accessible for aging. I'm 80 years old. I'm looking to age in place. One trip, slip, and fall from a walker or a wheelchair, and I can't get into this house.
Right.
So this is the addition that will be accessible for me.
So will it actually be lower to the ground?
No, it's gonna be, the grade will be brought up back here.
Right.
The grade will be brought up a little bit in there.
So what's going down to the ground, what's it gonna look like? Are you gonna put, is it the back clapboard or shingle?
Oh,
New addition?
it's all clapboards and shingles, right. The north face I'm doing in shingles,
Right,
because that's the side that weathers the best.
right.
Southeast and west weathered terribly, so those are all gonna be clapboard. The house is now clapboard now. I don't think it was originally, because they only used clapboard in the front of these capes, and the rest of it was shingles. But it's clapboard now, and I'm gonna keep it all clapboard,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay? And the south face and the west face will be clapboard, the north face will be shingles, because it just ages very nicely. It turns out a pretty patina gray, so all of this will be shingles. This will be clapboard.
Okay.
okay?
Bob, do you have any other questions?
Not right now.
Brendan?
I do not, actually.
Paul?
The only thing I was questioning, trying to better understand is this addition you're putting on to the north, let's say.
Yeah.
Zoning wise, I guess you're within.
I'm within the setbacks, right.
requirements and all that.
Right.
How much larger is this square footage than
This
the
is-
one that's there?
This house here is about,
No, I mean this one versus this we were demolishing.
oh, it's not a lot larger. It's probably about 800 feet larger in area.
800?
Yeah, in area.
It looks like it's much larger.
Yeah, it does, it does. It's, the thing is, the house is all out here
Right.
and back to here. So this is the, except the greater part of it.
But nothing more to the north than is shown
No,
here,
no.
so the driveways remains the same.
Same place, right.
No question.
Yeah, I haven't encroached in any side yard setbacks, rear side or front. I don't have to go to zoning for any relief for anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still a
Anything
conforming
else, Bob?
use.
Yeah.
Oh, one question, I do have one
Sure, Paul.
combo here, one final question.
Sure.
I'm a little confused, you're saying 1914, which would make it an issue, 1917, I thought you said on your report.
I think it was not,
Is there
I
an issue
I
about
think it was 1914.
that the dormers were
The
put on?
the dormers were put on, yes, yeah. It was just around World War II, World War I is when it was done.
Okay, so.
That's 100 years too. That's 100 years
you're
also,
within that.
yeah.
Bob, did you have another question?
Just on chimneys, the chimney on the original structure
That stays, yeah.
Any chimney or anything on the other?
There is, here, I put it on, I brought the drawings because it was an afterthought, I'm putting a gas-fired fireplace in here,
Yeah.
in the TV room, and it's right here, but it's not higher than the existing one.
Right.
I've sketched it out on the drawings if you want to see it. And that's going to be a veneer, all right? That will be veneer.
Yeah, so can you talk about the windows?
They're all
6
Anderson
over-
400 series,
Right.
historical sills, and 5/4 trim. The existing house now has 5/4 trim. I'm replicating it throughout the whole house.
But the original has 6 over 6, right?
Yes, and I
The
have
addition, you're going with 4 over 4?
6
Or
over
2
6,
2?
6 over 6 on the north side and the street side. So this whole elevation will all look the same.
Okay,
These will have 2 over 2s on this side here. But the historical component is all the same.
okay.
And any elevation from the front will be mimicking the historical component.
Anything else from the board before we move on?
The
Paul?
porch on the back is what, screen or?
No, it's an open porch.
I thought this was gonna be a,
It's right here. It's just a one step.
didn't you call it a porch? What did you give it?
Yes, it's a.
Yeah,
I thought
It's
you
a
mentioned
porch.
a porch, that's all.
yeah, it's a porch. It's just
Yeah, entry area,
it's a step up,
right.
and that's all it is. It's like 9.5 inch riser, 9.5 inches up, so that's the 18 inches.
And obviously a rubber roof.
This is an EPDM roof, correct? Yeah.
And-
I didn't want to, I couldn't marry the two together, you know, without destroying the dormer, you know?
Just one other question, about you putting a basement or cellar into the old part of the house.
Both of them.
So what's the plan there?
I have to hold this one a little bit higher because the ceiling height in here is 6 foot 6 inches. That's the ceiling height inside here. There's not a door you can buy. Every door I put in that renovation is going to be custom made because they're just boards now with hinges.
Right.
The doors in here this height, ceiling height has to comply with the codes today. This one doesn't, but I don't want to have a step between the two. So this one's going to be held higher in the foundation, so the first floor plane coplanes. So the first floor completely coplane. The second floor will not be accessible from the addition. You can't
He's
make it
asking
work.
about the basement, though.
The basement's going to be a little bit higher, but it's going to be the same height outside.
So your first floor, you're not gonna have a transition inside
That's
between
right.
the original house
Right.
and the
This will
addition?
sit 6 inches higher on its foundation,
Yeah, yeah,
which will
understood.
coplane the floor here.
Right,
That's all.
So the
It'll
floors.
it'll get me to 7 feet,
Understood.
you say.
Any other questions from board members? Paul?
All done, thanks.
Kathy, if you could state your name for the record for us, please?
Sure, it's Catherine Ermilio. I'm at 74 Bank Street.
Okay, great.
And so I do have many concerns. I've gone online, looked at the plans. They don't show the existing garage, which, yeah, well, it's detached, and it's a huge garage. I'm assuming there's living in there because there's plumbing going from there. So I think we're putting the cart before the horse. You're not really seeing, there's no windows, there's nothing on this that
So
denotes.
it's on the plan,
It
though,
is,
Kathy.
all right, so
So-
my concern is the plans show, this house was brought over from Nantucket.
Mhm.
It's the old Main Street,
Yeah,
right there,
understood.
right? So my problem is, now between the houses, the plan shows a driveway there, like right
It's the
in front of.
existing driveway that already exists.
No,
No, I've added,
there's no
I've
driveway there. He
I've-
wants to put one on the other side.
put another
because
drive
the
on this side here.
addition-
Okay.
but it,
So it's the
That's not our
front door.
purview,
it's
so.
not, it's not.
What's that?
The
Oh, all
driveway
right.
isn't our
So-
purview,
So I
so.
feel like the cart is going before the horse here. If you okay the demolition, this house is going to withstand moving from Nantucket Island to here, being lifted with a full foundation in it?
Mhm.
And then what if that doesn't happen? The plan shows that this house has a front door now, right?
No, it
Or-
doesn't.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
The pictures show different online, like no windows on the
So
side anymore.
Kathy, talk to us.
All
You have to talk to
All
us.
right, I'm sorry.
That's
There are
okay.
no windows. I mean, unless I'm so dyslexic, I'm not seeing any windows on the street side like it is currently. Like it's,
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same as what it is now.
I don't know what
all
you're
right.
seeing
The
online.
other question, so I'm nervous about this addition, the demolition being, okay, but then how do you coordinate this? Because the addition is much bigger than this. The structure over the garage is 2 cars deep with dormers,
So Kathy, all I can tell you is that our purview here is only on a notice of intent, and our only ability at this meeting
yeah,
is to stall the project. We don't have any means to stop a project,
okay.
even if we wanted to.
All right.
So all we can do is impose a demo delay, and we typically only do that when we're uncomfortable with what's being put in its place is not matching with the historic structure.
Okay.
I personally am not seeing that right now.
Well, how about
So-
the sewer, how about the septic and
So
everything
none of that
else?
is any of our purview. That
Okay.
all happens, and they've got to coordinate that with the building department. Their
Yeah.
plans have to go through the building department. They're indicating that they have the proper setbacks, and none of that is going to be anything that we affect here today. We are strictly here on a notice of intent, and our only purpose is to either allow the demolition to go on without delay or to impose up to a 12-month delay, which they can wait out and then build what they'd like to build. That's the way our demolition delay bylaw runs. So,
So a demolition occurs first, and then the
No.
plans are put forward to, because I never got any any notification about the addition, only this demolition.
you might not have to on a
Yeah.
regular building permit.
Yeah. Okay, through you.
Go right ahead.
So yeah, after this, it's gonna go to the building department, it's gonna go through all the departments, whether it's conservation, health, and it's gonna sit with the building commissioner. And he's gonna take a look at all the setbacks, lot coverage, building coverage, and if they're satisfied, you probably would not give a notification. And then one other thing, have you seen this? If
I
you want-
have seen,
Oh, you have
yes,
seen,
I
okay,
went
I was gonna give it to you
online.
if you wanted.
Yeah, I did look at it.
Okay.
And I'm just, like, there is certain things, the leach field or his is right next door to my property. How can you, this old structure, how many bedrooms are in it? Like,
So the health department would weigh in on that as well. They're gonna review
I
it
mean,
to
there's
make sure.
potentially 8 bedrooms within this and the garage, or 9.
Excuse me,
No.
it's a 4-bedroom structure
Yeah,
with the garage.
Yeah, like I said,
Period.
that will run through, it'll run its course based on.
This, the entire upstairs here is one big master suite, Kathy.
Yeah, well, this
With one
has
bathroom.
bathroom,
and that's gonna have-
bedrooms, and
It has,
this
it's
has
going, this
3.
is being renovated to be 1 bedroom on the master, but it's very small. one bedroom up here with a bath. This is gonna have 2 bedrooms, and there's a bedroom in the garage.
But again, just for
It's a-
clarification,
Okay.
the number of bedrooms is gonna be
Building.
on the plans, the building department will review it. The Board of Health has to review whether the existing septic is sufficient for it. Again, it's not our purview.
Okay.
It's, the building department will review the plans and make sure that all of the setbacks, but if they have the ability, the only reason that they have to be here is because that original structure is over 100 years old, and there's a demolition delay bylaw for those houses, so any demolition has to come before us. And again, our only remedy in that is to hold it up for a maximum of 12 months at this point, which if the homeowners want to wait out, they can wait out for the 12 months and then build what they want to build, as long as it's in compliance with the building department. So, I just want to make sure that you understand what this is. Somebody has a matter of right to build an addition on their house. If there's nothing that would require you to get a notice, you wouldn't necessarily, just like you wouldn't have to provide them a notice if you were,
Yeah, but the
putting on
whole
a-
lot it is a substantial change that could affect me, is all. Well, it could, Angelo. I
No,
know you
I'm
should
s-
know.
I'm
please,
sorry, dear.
you don't, you don't,
All right.
you have to address us, okay?
All right.
We're
Well,
trying to, we're,
Okay, so, you know, I don't know. This, I do have concerns about the demolition, and then if the demolition fails, or the old house is affected, then it's like, well, we have to tear this down, it's like a hardship, right?
they've come before us on a notice of intent to demolish one portion of the house, not the original portion of the house, to put up a new addition.
Okay, and so does the Historic Commission have any rules or regulations on what used to be Main Street and now?
It is not a historic district, so we have no say about, it is not a historic district, and I don't think you're down in Bank Street.
Yeah.
That's not the historic.
It's the old Main Street.
But it's
that's
not a
on the
historic
south
district,
side.
ma'am, so we really don't have any purview to tell them what to build, except to the extent that we would like them to build something different, and in exchange for that, we can lessen our demolition delay that we impose. If we didn't like what they were building, the most we could do is put a 12-month demo delay on, in the hopes that they would come back to us with something that we would approve to lessen the delay. This is not a historic district. We don't have that kind of purview. It is strictly a notice of intent.
Mhm.
And if what they put before the building department is acceptable under our zoning and our building codes, it's no different than if you went in as a homeowner, or if I went in as a homeowner. There's some stuff that we're allowed to do as a matter of right, so.
I understand.
Paul?
Madam Chairman, the only thing I think that I'd like to understand slightly better is, you've applied to us for a demolition relative to the old building, let's call it the original half house. And the demolition that you're proposing here is partial in that it's going to have to be altered to put in the basement, not touch the structure right now, but just put in the basement, that's the demolition. The dormers are part of that original, or
Right.
at least qualify as over 100 years. So the demolition actually is two parts, right? It's the demolition relative to the substructure and the demolition of the back dormer that's going to be replaced, I understand, but technically speaking, in your application, as I initially read it, it was identified, I thought, as 1917, and therefore not an issue of 100 years age. But in 1914, if the dormers went on at that point, then it is a demolition of that.
It's still 100 years if it's 1917. We're in 2025,
Oh,
not
that-
2015.
Right, Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not, it doesn't list that in his application, does it? I thought it said that
It says the 1917 dormers are being reconstructed in kind to facilitate the new addition. So if it's in kind, that to me says it's like for like, correct?
Exactly.
So like for like, he technically wouldn't have to have come before us just for that. It's strictly really for the demolition of the newer addition to replace it with
Right.
what he's proposing.
Excuse me. It was originally a shed dormer that was bastardized to facilitate a porch addition, maybe during the 30s or 40s.
Okay.
So if I take the porch addition down, it's going to affect the dormer, and I want to reconstruct it in kind, what was built in 1917.
Understood.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is there anyone else in the public that has questions?
So it's a porch or a room? Because it's a sunroom, there's no porch.
It's
a
an open, so Kathy, I believe they have said it's an open porch.
It's
It's
not
a new
enclosed.
addition, and then it's an open porch. It's just a covered porch. It's not enclosed. It's exactly how it's on the model. It's gonna have posts and a little covered space, but it's not enclosed.
And that's what was original to the house. We have an old photograph of the house that shows the porch.
Yep. Kathy, do you have any other questions before I move on?
I'm not educated enough here to ask the right questions, but, okay, I'll have to look at the plan once well, the plan is there, and I do have, yeah, hopefully, okay,
The only thing we're here for tonight is the demolition delay.
yeah,
And like I said, the rest of it really isn't our purview. The septic will go before historic, and if he's got a 4-bedroom already,
yeah, it's more
you know,
than
there's,
septic, it's a lot of other things. It's the driveway right next door to my porch.
and again, that's,
That's,
we're not the,
right.
we don't do the curb cuts,
Yeah,
so.
the building department will look at the lot coverage and building coverage, just like the health department and the
But
veteran
the
council.
plans, the way they read too, like, it isn't a paved driveway existing already, it's stone. Like, and it says clearly on there, the existing driveway is paved. It's not a paved driveway.
That's a survey error. It's not, it's always been gravel. It has never been
It's
anything
never
else
been.
but.
Never been anything
So it's
but.
just an
But
error on
it
the
says
plan.
that
It's
on
the
there.
engineers did that.
Okay.
Moran Engineering did that.
Anything else, anyone else in the public have any questions? Any members of the board have any other questions?
No.
Brendan,
I do not.
you're good? Is the board ready to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Bob's made a motion, Paul has seconded. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. And again, I would entertain a motion on this. It will require 4 votes for passage. Would somebody like to take a stab at it?
Yes, motion for case number HH 202518, filing date June 27, 2025, hearing date August 20th, 2025. Property location 78 Bank Street, map 14, parcel W8. Owner and agent Angelo Cariacidi. I was practicing
Like a
that
true
for
Greco,
time.
like a true Grecophile.
Cariacides. Book 148085. Year built 1890. Demolition proposed partial. The project proposes a partial demolition of a non-historic addition to build a new addition. Historic significance is listed on the historical property inventory. Proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value. Determination, no demolition day period imposed. Conditions, only because you mentioned it, I didn't see it on the plans. We're just gonna add the Anderson 400 series FDLs.
Yeah, I think it's on your, on the previously approved one for the siding and windows.
Yeah.
It's a 400 series.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm putting it in.
Yeah,
put it in
I would
there.
leave it,
Yeah.
only because I didn't see it in a door
Yeah.
window schedule, so
Did you say it was SDL or FDL?
FDL.
Can I just ask, so all windows stay where they are on the old house? It's
Yes.
not like you can have a solid wall now on Main Street side?
Ma'am, I understand that you're concerned, but we're in the middle.
Okay.
You had an opportunity to ask questions, and it's just not appropriate for you to jump in when we're in the middle of a discussion. I understand you're upset and concerned, but was there anything with respect to the foundation and the bricks?
It shows on the plan.
It
Okay.
shows on the plan.
So do you want to put anything about as otherwise?
Whether it's veneered or step shelf, I don't
No,
think so.
no,
No, fine, okay.
either's fine.
So the only condition we have is the Anderson 400 series full divided light.
Correct.
All right, so we have a motion's been made by Brendan. Is there a second?
Second.
Bob has seconded. All those in favor?
One question.
Yep.
What date did you have on that house?
The date on the original
the
date,
event-
Nineteen twenty-five.
but the original date on the house was 1890. It says on the.
I'm just going based on the sheet I have, so 1925. Is that fine? Do you want to change that?
I have the year built as 1890.
I'm sorry.
on
I
the-
got
You're in the wrong one.
application.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say
Sorry.
closer to 17.
You were reading from the right one.
Yeah, 1890.
Originally.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
1890 I
Yeah,
have.
yeah, okay, good. Sorry about that.
All right, so we have a motion made by Brendan, seconded by Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And ma'am, I do believe they're not making changes to the windows in the front of the house. It's, the only changes they came before us for was the dormer
Right.
and the new addition, okay?
And you set a new standard on bringing them on.
You're the second person to do
Yeah,
it, so
that's
thank
right.
you very
Someone
much.
else
It's easy
We
for you
appreciate
to
that.
understand the scale of the
Well, it
connection.
is, particularly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Klein is doing the lifting, so I have every confidence in Mr. Klein.
Yeah, you did.
Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen, ladies.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Okay, the second matter on our agenda this evening is a public hearing for HH 2025-19. It's Stephen and Lauren McCabe, owner through their agent, Kroll and Donovan Law, LLC. It's filed a notice of intent. The project proposes a partial demolition to replace the roof, a partial demolition of an exterior staircase and a roof deck, windows, secondary chimney, and a partial demolition to construct two additions. The structure is over 100 years old according to the town assessing records and is located at 11 Nuns Road, 6 parcel C1-10. Good evening.
Good evening.
Could
Mike-
you state your name
yeah,
for the record? and-
Sure, yeah. Michael Donovan from Kroll and Donovan Law.
Thank
And with
you.
me is Mike Tartamella from Patrick Ahern Architects, who's submitted the plan,
Great.
drafted the plans. So this is at 11 Nons Road. The property is on that circle. It backs up onto Allen Harbor. I don't know if you've been out to the property or know where it is. It's set back kind of from the road. There's a lot of trees there. And we're here on a notice of intent. It is not on the historical inventory list, but the property card indicates a 1925 date.
Okay.
We haven't really been able to, clearly, the whole house was not built at one time in 1925. There was a portion that was built in 1925, and then after that, we haven't been able to piece that together as far as the actual dates of those things. But given that we're now 2025, anything after that would be less than 100 years old. And we would just submit that, we keep that in mind here, that there's only a portion of it that, and we think it's probably that main colonial kind of portion of it that was built at that time. And then, as you can see from kind of especially aerial views, these other things were added onto it over time. And we would submit that, the house itself is not historically significant, and the work that we're doing would not destroy or substantially diminish the historical significance of any portion that you may find is, in fact, historically significant, and therefore no delay should be warranted. As far as what the work that's being done, as far as, actual demolition, the first thing that we notice is the exterior staircase. You can see that on the pictures, the second one down on the left. There's a large wooden from the second floor that goes both down and it goes up to the roof. we would submit that that clearly is something that was built well after 1925, is pretty much an eyesore, if you've seen it there. And that's just gonna be taken down completely, that we don't need that area for exterior access at this point. And it's something that will improve the property. The other kind of demolition, what's being taken out, is actually a replacement, is a chimney. So there's two chimneys right now. The main chimney is what would be the left side of the house, but as you look at that colonial portion of the house, it's on the right-hand side. That's being left alone as is. There's no changes being made to that. If you look again at that colonial, just to the left is one of these additions. It's a one-story kind of addition that connects to the garage and connects to the house in the back left corner there. That area there is going to have some work done. The roof is going to be raised up, and there's going to be a dormer put there. And in the course of doing that, that chimney is going to get taken out, and a new one is going to be put right on the left side of that colonial main structure. So it will bookend that colonial structure and will be an improvement to that structure by having the chimneys on both sides of them. It will be like materials and try to make it replicate what it looks like now. And it will frame the house to have the colonial. And then on that left side now will be a second story. There'll be two dormers there. And then below that, again, now we're getting into the other changes. I wouldn't submit that they're demolitions as much as they're just some alterations to it. So the first alteration is that putting that roof line, raising that roof line up and putting those two single dormers there. And then just below that, you can see in page A1, there's kind of a dead space there where there's no windows. It's just a dead space where they connected, and it seems like someone forgot to do anything there. And so that area there, they're going to put two windows in and put a railing and have it kind of be a walkway and make it look like it should have looked from the beginning.
There's no
Yep.
railing there. Just to clarify, there's no railing there.
Okay,
That's just the first floor mudroom entrance.
the way it goes through, okay. And then the other change is in the rear, so page A3. In the back there, you can see that there's kind of a first story and second story bow windows. And there, they're gonna put a screened-in porch on the first floor and then an open-air deck on the second floor. And then the third change is what I kind of call the filling in the dead space. In page A4, you can see again, because of these multiple additions over time, there's some strange gaps that were there, and there's actually a gap between what's the garage, the back side of the garage, and that back portion addition there, where there's actually a gap. You can kind of walk in there, and you're in the middle of those three portions. And they're gonna fill that space in both the first and the second floor, put windows there that match the windows that are the pre-existing windows on the back portion of the house. And so that area is gonna be filled in. Again, I wouldn't consider that demolition, but it is, changing the look of it on the side of the house.
So they're changing the window patterns
Yes,
essentially.
yeah.
They're replacing singles with
Singles with the 6/1s.
What's
And
there
then
is
replacing-
also casement windows,
Casement,
which are
yeah.
not historically accurate at all for the period of the house.
No, and that's, I'm just doing the comparison, just so that we're clear. And then the, what looks to me to be two singles in the existing would be replaced by what looks like French doors. Maybe connecting to what that other existing peak is.
Which page are you looking at?
I'm an A3, looking at the,
A3. Right, so if I could elaborate a little
Yeah.
bit on the
Yeah.
scope. So you clearly, as Mr. Donovan said, there's a portion of this house that was built, which we think somewhat 100 years ago, kind of right on the dot. We're maintaining that piece, and over some time, there were some more contemporary additions done. At some point in time, there was another wing of the house. It was never really connected. You could see by the style of the architecture that was more contemporary. It was probably done in the late 80s or 90s. And what we're doing is adding a second story to that to connect the second level on the second floor.
So it's just a second story, you're not
Yeah.
really demolishing what's underneath,
We're
it,
not
you're just
redem-
adding to the top.
We're not demolishing, I mean, we're taking the roof plane off, but we're
Right.
basically reconstructing that to be a more cohesive addition and make it look like part of the original thought. In addition, I'd say, I'd submit, we're taking off what you see as the widow's walk. It was incredibly precarious,
Exactly.
not something that we want to keep, nor was it original to the house. And I'd also submit that the first floor, what you see in the flat roof there on A3, that was also a later addition put on that we're maintaining and repairing the second floor deck that's up there. So in terms of demolition from the original box on the front, there's really little to no demolition there, with the exception of the bay window on the back. And then, as we said, we're just kind of reconstructing a second floor connector, albeit a story and a half. It'll be de minimis and secondary to the main box that you see on A1. That'll be what gets constructed over that area. And then the interior courtyard that's there, which is some sort of odd Zen garden at one point, we're just encapsulating that space and making it finished and adding a second story above that.
All right.
All of this has already been through Zoning Board of Appeals, and it was unanimously approved there.
So, who'd like to start? Brendan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'll go out the windows. Have you selected your windows brand?
Yeah, we use Pella Architect Series.
And do they classify the full divided light or simulated? How do they-
Simulated.
Simulated. Okay, that's the only
They'll
question.
need
I
to
have.
perform for the energy code, so
Yeah,
we'll have to
of
have those
course.
simulated.
Thank you.
Before we go on, I just had the one comment. We did receive a comment from the Conservation Commission that the proposed work is within the buffer zone for the coastal bank, and it would require Conservation Commission review.
That's in process.
Yep.
Right, so just,
Yep,
we received it, so I just want to put it on the record.
sure.
Paul, do you have any questions?
It's in there right now.
No? Bob?
No, other than, I think it's a big improvement, actually, to the
Yeah.
historical
It's
original.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Anybody in the public have any questions, comments? Seeing none, is the board ready to close the public hearing?
I move to close public hearing.
So Bob has made the motion to close. Paul, did you second? All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. And then who'd like to do the decision? If I have one in front of me.
I'll go ahead and do
Sure,
it.
great.
Case number HH 202519, filing date July 11, 2025, hearing date August 20th, 2025. Property and map parcel is 11 Nons Road, map 6, parcel C1-10. Owner of record with the Town Assessing Department, Stephen and Lauren McCabe, agent Crowland Donovan Law LLC. BCRD recording information, book 236621, page missing.
It's a certificate of title, so
Okay.
it's a record, it's a
Okay.
registered land.
Okay. Subject building and built in year 1925. Source used to determine age, town assessing records. Demolition proposed partial. The brief description of the work, project proposes a partial demolition to replace the roof and partial demolition of exterior staircase and roof deck, windows, secondary chimney, and partial demolition to construct 2 additions. Historic significance. Building is historically significant, listed with the town historic property inventory.
So don't know,
No,
it's not on the
It's
inventory.
not.
I think you can put a note that it's 100 years of age based on the assessing records.
Okay,
If that's what you'd like to do there.
yes. It's 100 years old based on historical, on the assessor's records. Notes, no additional notes. Proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value, significance of the building, of the subject buildings. Notes, none. Determination, no demolition delay period imposed. Conditions, did we want to put anything down? Just,
Just the 6/1 Pella Architect Series SDLs.
So 6 over 1
and
Okay.
otherwise as submitted on plans. I don't know if you need to add that.
Plans are dated May 20th, 2025.
May 20th. Okay, so we have a motion made by Bob. Who would like to second?
Second.
Paul has seconded. All those in favor of the motion as read, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I like the name of the house too.
That was their idea.
I get a feeling someone might already have that though.
Yeah.
But-
A few, there might be a few of
There might
those,
be a few.
right?
Trademark issue, yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, so I got these. And then we have, if you folks don't mind, I'd like to do the National Historic Register next.
That'd be great.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please come forward.
Thank you for
State your name for
having
the
us.
record.
There's, I think, one for each person. It's the original acceptance letter that we got for the National Register to proceed, so. Back when Greg Winston was chair. It's been a while.
Talking about ancient history.
Okay, so we, just for the record, we have it's dated March 24th, 2016. It says staff at the Mass, addressed to the former chair, Greg Winston, staff at the Mass Historical Commission have reviewed materials that have been submitted pertaining to the potential eligibility of West Harwich area for the National Register of Historic Places based upon the submission and a site visit conducted on March 3rd of 2016. MHC's opinion is that the section of Route 28 between the Herring River and the Chase Library area meets the criteria for listing on the National Historic Register, fulfilling criteria A and C for its historic and architectural significance. Final boundaries remain to be determined, as the side streets may also prove to be eligible upon the submission of more information. Route 28 in West Harwich is primarily a collection of 18th and 19th century houses, many of which are associated with Harwich's maritime history, its early agricultural history, and its development into a summer residence colony. Although there are several non-contributing properties concentrated in the middle of the half-mile-long district, there is sufficient amount of Greek Revival, Italianate, and Queen Anne houses to create a valid district. The West Harwich Baptist Church and Cemetery, West Harwich School, and the Ocean Hall Junior Theater on Division Street are public buildings that should be included. The Chase Library has already been listed individually but could not be included in a West Harwich district. The period of significance for the district would likely extend from the date of its earliest standing structure to the 50-year cutoff for National Register purposes. At least one motel within this Route 28 corridor could potentially fall within the period and thus contribute to the district's significance. The Pine Grove Cemetery is sufficiently removed from the district so as to not be feasible to include. It is possible that it may be eligible for individual listing. There are several side streets running off Route 28 that appear to include houses that would likely contribute to a larger district, one that would augment the linear Route 28 district currently approved. These include certain houses along Bells Neck Road, Mansion Street to the north, and Belmont Road, Riverside Drive, and Silver Street to the south. Additionally, there are potential houses along Willow Street between Silver and Belmont that might also be included. Documentation in the form of inventory, B forms including dates, 2016 photos, building descriptions, and historic information would need to be submitted to MHC in order for us to evaluate these properties. Although you may proceed with a nomination for a district centered along Route 28, we strongly encourage that additional survey work be done. So that's essentially what they're saying. So Sally, you asked for us to put this on our agenda to discuss. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us what you're looking to do.
Thank you. So, we got the go-ahead back. It's been a long time now, since 2016. And, I'm looking for some help, some guidance to see if you guys wanna help us move it along, or if you guys wanna, what can we do? Because I think it needs to be done. It was the original plan when we did, the Captain's Row area. Funding had been a problem back in the days of CPC. I was reviewing today, it looks like there are ways that people do it. They word it differently, or they do it from the executive fund or whatever that other fund is on the CPA.
So there's a big difference between a National Register district and a historic district.
Right.
You know, and I think that's something that this board would want to kind of schedule and talk about and do a little more research into. Because when it comes to a National Historic Register district, my understanding is that the local board doesn't really, it's really not within our purview per se, versus a historic district, which we would have similar to what we do now with certificates of appropriateness and the like. So I certainly think it's something we can discuss. It's certainly not something, you know, I think it warrants more investigation from all of us and a little more information.
I think so. Maybe I can speak to the historic commission aspect rather than the historic district aspect. Perhaps they.
Well, but I mean, we're one and the same at this point, right? So
I'm being funny. I'm sorry.
No. It's certainly something with the DCPC there. It's obviously something that's been started and is certainly in a much different place than it was in 2016 when this was started.
Right.
And there's certainly a lot of work would have to go into it before. This isn't something that could just be picked up and
Right.
submitted the way it
Exactly.
was in 2016,
Exactly.
because we also don't know whether how MHC would look at some of the changes that have happened already, right? With there have been changes in ownership of buildings, some buildings have deteriorated more, some have been improved more. So they're all going to factor in, and it's a lot of research. So I think as far as whether this board would take it on as far as submitting it as either requesting either a National Register district or a historic district, I think we should kind of put together some meetings and see if staff can do some research for us so that we can discuss some of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the benefits and the detriments of both.
You can do both, right?
Yep.
I think you can do both. I think one definitely does affect the other versus when you're looking at what you're going to have for local control.
You're talking
So,
the district,
A
as
district versus
the
this
West
is-
Harwich Special District.
versus the
Right.
DCPC.
Right.
DCPC is a planning district, right?
Yep, mhm.
Then a National Historic Register district would have with it certain standards that would have to be maintained that are certainly not really our purview, is my base level understanding of it. And then, or whether it is something that the board would want to actually look to have it be a new historic district in town, which is another option.
Mary, we're right on the same path.
Yeah.
The issue that we face
Mhm.
is CPC. We could move forward ourselves with the National Registry. The trouble is you have to hire a consultant, basically, and CPC doesn't look favorably upon individuals submitting their own proposals. It's better if it comes. Now, we might overcome that as the lowest possible rung if you would support our efforts, just through a letter, saying we support this effort through CPC, something like that. But that's at the lowest possible rung.
Right, so,
At the highest rung, then I'll stop.
Right.
At the highest rung, absolutely historic district. I think that would be something that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and absolutely needs to be done. The intermediate step, though, can be done a lot quicker and bring attention. Because the DCPC is there, it's more than just the rules we're finding out within. There's more to it, according to the county. So we're just trying to get everybody educated during the process.
So there's also the possibility of individual homeowners listing their own houses on the National Historic Register. We've seen a lot of that as well, and we've supported those items. Looking forward to, if knowing that the CPC deadline for applications is the beginning of October, I personally wouldn't think
No, we're not
it's
either.
ready for this year, certainly.
No.
Because I think there's too much work that you'd have to do to do either
No.
way.
No.
So I mean, from
It's-
my perspective, I think it's something that we should talk about as a full board, and with Lynn here as well, and make sure that we vet it out and we do the research ourselves to make sure that we are comfortable whether we want to support it as a board individually on our own behalf and put it forward, whether we want to support an application from you folks doing it, or whether it's something that we'd like to move and see whether it should be a historic district.
Works for us.
So, just thoughts. Yes, Bob?
Yeah. One thing I'm a little concerned here is it's inferring that Macris all these properties have to go into Macris.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't know how many are already in. I'm sure many are.
260
On,
in Harwich.
I know in Harwich, but I mean,
We're
as far
saying
as
on this
west-
district.
Oh, this
For
district,
this
yeah, yeah.
district, to submit and
So-
get them to come out and
Right.
approve, they had to be on Macris.
That's
So
what my
nothing,
concern is that there's no money to do Macris right now.
right.
So I'm not sure how that gets
They
solved.
label
Because-
it sometimes as hiring the historic, there's certain words you can use apparently if you're going before the CPA to do this. It's something like a historic preservationist to do something for the National Register. It's some wording that some towns have used to get it through.
So I think what Bob's pointing out is that we're in the middle of doing an update
Right.
with our 100-year list. So we're not in a position to ask for more money at this point because we're still working on that project. So it would have to be a future project for items that aren't currently listed in Macris. And that's all, and I think Bob is correct. I think all that would have to be done. And I suspect to much different standards than were done in 2015, the last time around, because that's what you've run
Yeah.
into this time around. The standards are different on those
They'd
Macris
have to be-
submissions.
They'd have to be refreshed,
So-
ones that exist now.
Right,
If-
plus
yeah,
new
I
ones
know.
done.
I just don't know how many would need to be done.
So I mean, CPC has approved that on our applications before, because,
Right.
Bob's championed that and has kind of led our update
Right.
from
I mean, we
2015.
can certainly possibly get in a request from CPC for some additional ones, but where the current one isn't quite finished yet,
Right,
the CPC may be hesitant to fund that
Correct.
this year.
correct,
But
That
we
would
can-
be my
We can look
concern.
at that, and I would look at that
yeah.
over the next week
Paul?
or two.
Just a question about the financing. How was the issue left about, we had discussions last year or something with Joe Powers and something in terms of
So
funding and-
there is some money available to us to do certain items, but that was the way we had talked about it with the select board. To what you're talking about was if we needed to hire somebody to,
Right.
like if we questioned an application before us, to have some staff review or some
Right.
engineering review. I don't think that, based on what Bob's doing with Macris and what it's cost us to do those updates, I don't know that there's that kind of money available to us to
No,
do that.
because it's about, right now, it's around 300 a pop, or 350.
And when
And
you're,
maybe 500 when it goes to rebids,
Right.
because it's a lot
And
of
it-
work.
But I thought there was some discussion that sort of implied it wouldn't necessarily have to relate to an item that was before us, but rather something that we were willing or interested in getting involved with, and maybe to the point of getting a consultant or something in a broader area, such as exploring
yeah.
establishment of a historic district.
So I think we should discuss that as a board first and then
Right.
decide if that's something we want to ask about. I still am not sure that there's quite enough
Money?
money available to do something like that. We'd have to ask that question. And
Okay, but I
a
thought that
new-
was asked before, right?
so there was never really money dedicated to us. What
That's
was
right.
said was that when we asked for money, they would find a way to make it happen. But again, we were talking more on a case by case kind of, right, on a case by case basis, and not something that would be this would be a procurement. I
Yeah, it
can't
is
see
a
that it would
procurement.
come in under
Yeah.
under our procurement laws, where I would expect we'd have to go beyond quotes too for something like that. If you're gonna have somebody look at the district, look at all those buildings, follow through on their suggestions, follow through on the Macros reviews for
Right.
what's existing and what needs to be updated. So just thinking about the work that you've done to get us to where we are and what money that is costing,
Let's
I think.
take a look at what it is. And
Right. Enough
it
time.
probably wouldn't hurt trying to put in an application.
So I think we schedule that for our next meeting to have a full discussion
Yeah.
and it may be worth it to schedule it as a public hearing to see, so that, we can really advertise it and invite it as, it's not a necessary public hearing, but kind of one that may benefit us to actually hear what people have to say.
Right.
Because some people may like the idea, some people may not like the idea, and, I think that's all part of our kind of discussions to figure it out, right?
If
Yeah.
Just
Right,
starting is
Exactly.
fabulous. Yeah, thank you.
Duncan,
Could I put a couple of
please,
cases
would you
on the
like
table?
to please
Sure.
come forward and state your name so that we can
Yes.
make sure you're heard?
Why don't you sit there?
Oh,
Take your
okay.
place, Steve. Duncan Berry, West Harwich. Just a couple of thoughts, because our discussions about this matter predate that letter by a couple of years at least.
Of course.
And so it's been an ongoing concern with the development of the Captain's Row Special District and, as you said, all these moving pieces. Two considerations. One is that a federally established district, the benefit primarily is to the homeowner to to be eligible for tax credits and for material rebate costs. So there's an economic incentive at the homeowner level. That's number one. At the community level, if you plug that into the 100 arguments made by Donovan Ripkema, who's written a book about the economic impact of historic districts, that shows a good ROI for, heritage tourism, older villages and towns and everything. So there's a good town return on that. So that can be considered. And it's no cost. It doesn't obviate somebody who needs to do a demolition by force majeure or anything like that. It's simply kind of a nice thing. From that gives you the aura of having, the federal government's blessing on something that then we could consider to do locally as a historic district. The problem that I see with the historic district in this case is that there's political pushback. There always will be, especially in certain real estate mindset, where they're looking less at historical value than land use value. The idea that there's an obstacle to the use of the land and higher return is always going to be a problem, agent of friction. And I think that that's going to be an issue. I think in a hearing you'll hear that enormously from people with skin in the game. The flip side to that, though, is that there's probably a way of doing a historic district that welcomes adaptive reuse, because some of those properties are, like the Bishop's Terrace, Job Chase 2 house, Job Chase Senior second home, is so far gone. It can still be taken care of and everything, but that is a luxury process, right? Preservation of that is, like preserving a barn find Ferrari that's worth $80 million, but it's the melt value is 250 kind of thing. So it's like, who's going to do that? So there's a special person that could do that, but I think the adaptive reuse and may be an interesting way for the historical commission to partner with either planning or ZBA and figure out a new pathway forward and see if anybody is doing something like that.
I guess
So-
my question would be, from your comments, are the financial incentives for the homeowners there when there isn't a district, but the home is, but the building itself is listed?
Believe
Are
it or
those still
not,
there?
the recommendation for listing is the qualification. So all of those properties already qualify for the benefits. But you don't want to tell them necessarily that, oh, we need your help to get on the thing to make it, to formalize it. So it's been out there since,
Yep.
this letter qualifies everybody there that's on that,
Right.
on 28. So I think there are 24 properties that are recommended for National Register.
Who has that list of 20?
That's on Macris. It's also, it's the, was it Deirdre Brotherson?
Okay,
Survey
so
from 91, 92.
So the macros is there.
It is
They
there.
are all
Yeah.
on.
They're all there on
So they
Macris.
just need to be updated with
And-
historical to make them.
Exactly,
Okay.
so they're not
Because
only,
only because we've run into a problem with some of the original Macros aren't
Right.
there.
so some of the Macris properties
Brenda.
are dated, have building forms from 1974, some from 92,
Yeah.
some from
Yeah.
20, whatever, 14, whatever. But, so I put mine on in 86, 85, something like that, our house. What's required now to put it on, to do a B form and get it filled out and everything is much more.
It is.
So,
Right,
and that's
but-
why, if the town, if we could make a persuasive argument that the ROI is there for revenue or for building costs and tax revenue or whatever, it's like, then maybe the town would be willing to say, yeah, all right, so like 20 grand for research, if we get 100 grand back, over 4 years or something like that.
So I think we should schedule it for our September meeting and,
Yeah. Question, it's a CPC question, actually.
Yeah.
I know they can't fund the work to put in a historic district, correct?
I don't believe they can now.
How about a National Register?
I
Can
don't
that
know.
be funded?
I don't know the answer to the question, but I know there are a couple of people on our board that will figure it out. So, I don't know the answer to the question. It's typically, your historic preservation funds are exactly that. It's for the
actual
preservation
preservation.
as
not the
opposed to,
planning
a list or a district. So that's what I'm not sure about. So what would, like a Macris, a Macris update, I think you can justify because it's going particularly to the property and its historic listing. I'm not sure about the overall district itself. So that's something that we should look into before our next meeting. So
And
what,
just one comment,
yeah.
I guess. With what's gone on in the past with some historic districts, I think more and more people today are aware of the value of them. And when you drive through the town of Sandwich, for example, or the Kings Highway Historic District along all of 6A, I mean, that was a major effort, just geographically, to try to win. But it evidenced that if you can build a good case, the
Yeah.
people will vote for it,
Yeah.
even though there'll be opponents.
right.
But the majority will
Well,
prevail.
that's it.
But, and that's why.
I think the same thing in West Harwich.
Yeah. And I think that's what warrants us putting it back on our agenda and
Right.
let's
I
have a good
agree.
meeting in September.
Yep.
And maybe in September, we start with a public hearing as well to just get some initial input. It's not final input, it's some initial input for us to kind of then delve into, what the potential options are there, what the financing might look at, and we can start there. Does that make sense?
That's great.
That's
All right.
great, that's
That's great.
perfect.
Thank you so much.
Can't ask for
Great.
more.
Great. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in September.
Continue.
We should be the third
I'll see you
Wednesday.
tomorrow night.
Great discussion. I'm gonna write that down. See you.
So just so that we can kind of finish up here,
Yeah.
did we by any chance do a letter, ask the building department about commenting about the chimneys at 115 Route 28? I think we had talked about it at our last meeting, but I don't know whether,
Oh, to get a letter from the building department?
to ask the building department to reach out to them, because our decision on 115 Route 28, they were supposed to put at least mock chimney caps on top of the building when they renovated it. So if you could, on our behalf, draft a letter, you can send it to me and I'll proof it.
Is that
Um,
arrivals?
Sorry?
115, is that arrivals?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
15.
yeah.
It's up for sale, we just wanna make sure that that condition actually happens, and it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
So,
The real estate sign is down. Saw
yeah.
some moving trucks and pods. So there's a possibility it's already happened, but
I'm gonna postpone the Revolutionary House War plaques only because
Right.
Lynn's not here. And Paul, with the Historic Preservation Award, what you got
Yes,
for us?
yeah.
My draft,
All right.
I gave them all the other things. What I've put together here is a sort of a summary of some conversations I had with a couple of communities that
All right.
have had this program or its comparables. And I've added some items, my own sort of thinking here. Basically, I mean, if you want me to go through it, the Historic District Commission is the leading effort here. My thought is to have a subcommittee of our committee may be tasked with sort of leading this effort, because it'll take some extra work reviewing applications or considering finalizing or preparing the actual process.
Yep.
I've offered here the ability that we'd start out by trying to do it on an annual basis.
Okay.
That we would probably enroll entities similar to what the Historical Society does in terms of a foundry, which happens to be in Pennsylvania area, to prepare a suitable plaque. One thing that Chatham does that I think, and I've alluded to the same structure in this draft, is the not only the placement of the item on a certain property, but also recognition that's more publicly available by having they actually have a sort of a commemorative, let's call it
A wall.
I don't know, what
A
is
wall.
it? A wall mark.
You're talking about wall having it in a public building.
Yeah, we would
Is that
have
what
it,
you're
for
talking
example,
about?
in the community
Yeah,
center or
yeah,
something.
okay.
But it would identify the winner of the previous year and who did it
Yeah.
and
Right,
why, and
right.
what was the
It'd be just-
accomplishment. So that
yeah.
we'd get the sort of both, the
Right, the
homeowner gets a
homeowner.
benefit.
And the town gets it as well.
Yeah.
but
Understood.
more to the
Yep.
town.
Yep.
And I thought that nominations could come from the homeowner as well as others. Some places only allow other entities, some do allow homeowners to
Yeah.
present it. I've offered to, suggested we use both options. And they do put a cap on the time period that it would have to have been completed, the work completed. So in this case here, I've suggested something in the prior 10-year period,
Okay.
and not necessarily something that came before us in terms of somebody who went ahead and had some structure done that
Okay.
didn't require demolition or renovation or whatever. So, anyway, at your leisure, you can review this
So, yeah,
outline.
I'd love to schedule this for our September meeting as well, because
Okay.
then that would line up in time for us to do an
Yeah.
October.
I had suggested
Opening, yeah.
starting in October.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then, and also hopefully we'll give Lynn an opportunity to chime in as well. Would you be able to find out more about what those, what the foundry plaque would cost
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
If you could find that out, or get a
Just a
contact for us, we can look into that, as well. And then, we can look into what kind of a wall plaque for either here in Town Hall or the community center would cost us as well, just so that we'll know that up front and can reach out to administration, after next month's meeting and just say, hey, this is what we we think we need, and, you know, do we
I
have that
think
money
I guess
available
we've
or,
still got
or
the
not?
Yeah.
Plaque, I mean, we have a plaque on our.
Yeah.
home,
Just-
and I went through that whole process.
Yeah.
Some kind of, for me, it cost about $350
All right.
for the
Yeah.
plaque.
All right,
And the homeowner actually pays for it, it's not something that we have to, but and we may wanna decide whether we wanna pay for that, but it's perfectly, appropriate to have
Yeah.
the award when I can pay for it.
yeah, okay.
Just a couple quick comments,
Bob.
Paul. I would also include landmarks, not just houses. So,
Yeah, I
didn't-
tried to put in, maybe I didn't word it sufficiently,
didn't.
but,
but yeah,
it's a
landmarks is
broader
somewhat.
category, yeah.
And also,
So you
I
mean
don't-
to include other buildings, like other public buildings
not
or other?
necessarily public, it could be a good
Powder
example.
house.
No, a good example would be the Revolutionary War monument we're
Oh,
building.
okay,
To
yeah,
me, that could, you know,
okay,
You know?
that's what I mean
Understood.
by landmarks.
understood, all
It
right,
could be a bridge or something.
yeah.
The town
Got
redid
it.
or something.
makes sense.
But, and the only other thing is that I don't think it has to be necessarily 100 years old either. Because, for instance, if, a good example is on Forest Street, you know it, that
Yeah.
very modern-looking house that most people would have torn down when they bought that lot, but the people that bought it restored it to that 1950s look, 40s, 50s look, that modern thing. To me, that's historically, maybe more of an architectural, but it still is historically
Can I say the
accurate.
1950s house is now 75 years old?
I
Right?
don't care, no, but I'm
Right,
saying.
but
should there
literally,
be a
when you
year?
think about it,
How old you wanna feel.
right, if you think about it, it's,
So there's
you
Groucho
know,
Marx spoke joke in there somewhere, right?
right, right.
No, it's just that I
Yeah.
don't think you have to restrict it to just over
It's
100
different.
Yeah,
years.
we've had a lot of architects
I
that
don't
come to
deny
the
that.
table with designs that are just fantastic, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're taking consideration
Yeah.
everything we
But-
talked about.
So
just
if you
Gus,
wouldn't
go.
mind putting this guy, the Historic Preservation Award, back on for next time, awesome.
Good.
Anything else anybody
No.
has?
The only thing I want to comment on parenthetically is, my comments of last meeting may have been off base in terms of the legitimacy of our role. However, in passing the home the other day, I was delighted to see, and I want to compliment the owners and appreciate their efforts. The building now no longer has air conditioners lying out on the ground. It no longer has a
Right.
dumpster as you enter the property. And they keep the lawn mowed, and the place is tremendously improved. So
Great.
solicitors' comments sometimes
Yeah.
bear fruit.
Good job.
I move that we adjourn. Are you ready for that?
Is there a second to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye, we
Aye.
are adjourned.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Brendan,
Oh,
No, it's
we're a
okay.
little past your hour.
that's good.
I think so. Well, actually, it's not, no, I don't really want it.
No, you may have it. I don't
See, there you
know.
go. I know I did
Have
that.
an autograph.
I think I have both decisions for you here.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. So how old is?
Henry's 15.
No way.
It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
He's growing about 5 inches this year. He's put on 35. He's off his diet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was like, you know,
Yeah, eating everything, yeah.
Oh yeah, when I
Oh,
doubled,
my
I'm
God.
introducing to all. Missy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, he has
You
no
welcome.
sweets for what, 10 years?
Right.
But he put on some weight, and I was thinning out, which is nice. So
Raining?
It's
He's doing good, though.
raining, I can hear it in the
Oh, good.
outside, yeah.
Yeah, of course he is.
my
Of
diet is just tough. Yeah.
course he is.
Yeah.
But you have a means to do it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, as long as you can.
Yeah.
The two decisions should be in this pile
All right. Good job.
with their files.
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
So,
Good night, everyone.
for the next, thank you, for the next meeting,
Stop it.
We're gonna put,
these
so,
three.
yeah, so you're gonna put a discussion on the West